As the golden hues of the setting sun cast long shadows over the Congo, the village was cloaked in silence. The dense jungle buzzed with the sounds of evening life, but beneath that familiar symphony, a tension hung thick in the air. The elders, wise and weary, gathered in secret under the towering trees, their faces lit only by the faint glow of a small fire. They had seen through Stanley's hollow promises and knew that his offers of peace and prosperity were nothing more than a thin veil for greed and domination. Their land, their people, would not be taken without a fight. Nal and Kato stood tall among them, the flickering flames casting dancing shadows on their determined faces. They were ready to lead, ready to resist. The people of the Congo would not be enslaved without defending their home. Deep within the heart of the jungle, in a hidden clearing surrounded by towering trees and thick underbrush, Nala, Kato, and the village elders gathered in the cool, damp evening air. The dense canopy above allowed only faint streaks of twilight to filter through, leaving the clearing bathed in shadows. The fire crackled softly, casting flickering light that barely pierced the darkening sky. The flames danced and sputtered, sending occasional sparks into the humid air. The elders sat in a tight circle, their faces lined with worry, their expressions grave as they listened to Nal's determined words. The village had been preparing for this moment, their resolve growing, but time was running short. More of Leopold's men would soon arrive, armed with deadly weapons forged far from their shores, and they could not afford to wait any longer. Every second they hesitated could cost them their land, their freedom, and their future.
We must act now, before they bring more men. The land has always protected us and it will again, but only if we stand united. If we hesitate, we risk losing everything.
We will show them that the spirit of the Congo is stronger than their guns. This is our land, and they will not take it from us without paying a steep price.
The other villages are ready. We have sent word and they will fight alongside us. We will not go quietly into chains. First, remember their weapons are strong. This battle will be hard and many may fall.
A heavy silence followed his words, but it was not one of fear or hesitation. It was the solemn silence of a people preparing for war, a people determined to fight for their freedom no matter the cost. The fire flickered, casting shadows on their faces, and the weight of the moment pressed down on them like the humid jungle air. The elders exchanged knowing glances, their expressions hardened with resolve, and Nala and Kato stood firm, their backs straight and eyes unyielding. They knew the dangers that lay ahead, the brutal force of the enemy, but they also knew that the land was their greatest ally. The jungle, thick, untamed, and full of hidden secrets, would protect them, shield them like an ancient guardian. It was time to act, time to defend their home with every fiber of their being. Under the cover of night, the villagers worked tirelessly to prepare for the battle ahead. Nala and Kato led the warriors, moving swiftly through the dense jungle. The sounds of their quiet movements blended seamlessly with the natural rhythm of the forest. The people of the Congo knew this land better than anyone. Every hidden path, every twisted vine, every river and stream. They would use this knowledge to their advantage. The jungle, which had been their protector for generations, would now become their weapon. The villagers began setting traps, using sharpened stakes hidden beneath layers of leaves and carefully placed pits to ensnare the invaders. Nets woven from vines hung high in the trees, waiting to fall on unsuspecting soldiers.
They won't know what hit them. Let them come with their guns and their false promises. We'll show them the true power of this land.
We fight not just for ourselves, Kato. We fight for the generations that will follow us. If we fall today, we must ensure that tomorrow our children will stand free.
As they worked, the villagers moved like shadows, silent and swift, blending seamlessly into the dense jungle around them. Their movements were purposeful, each task carried out with the precision of a people who knew their land intimately. They whispered quiet words of encouragement to one another, their voices barely audible above the rustling leaves, yet filled with determination. Their spirits were lifted by the shared understanding that they were protecting not only their homes, but their very way of life. Though the enemy marched with greater numbers and wielded more advanced weapons, the people of the Congo possessed something far more powerful, an unbreakable bond with the land that had nurtured them for generations. It was a connection rooted in the soil, the rivers, and the ancient trees that surrounded them, a force stronger than any rifle or army. The night passed in tense anticipation, and when dawn broke, it brought with it the sound of approaching footsteps. Stanley's men, unaware of the trap set for them, marched confidently into the jungle, their rifles slung across their backs, and their eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of resistance. They had no idea that the jungle itself was watching them. The first trap was sprung almost immediately. A group of soldiers pushing their way through the thick undergrowth suddenly disappeared into a pit lined with sharpened stakes. Their screams echoed through the trees as the others scrambled to help them, only to be caught in a net that fell from above, entangling them in a web of vines.
Look at them, Nala. They're like blind men stumbling through the dark. They have no idea what awaits them.
This is only the beginning, Kato. We cannot become overconfident. They will send more men and they will be more prepared next time.
Stanley's men, disoriented and frightened by the jungle's sudden attack, struggled to regroup. But they were no match for the land itself. Nala and Kato watched from the shadows as the soldiers tried to escape the traps. But it was clear that the people of the Congo had gained the upper hand in this first encounter. When the battle subsided, the jungle was eerily quiet once more. Stanley's men, those who had survived, retreated, leaving behind their dead and wounded. The villagers emerged from the shadows, their faces grim but triumphant. They had won the first battle, but they knew this was far from over. Leopold would not accept defeat so easily. Nala and Kato stood together at the edge of the clearing, their hearts heavy with both victory and the knowledge of the battles to come.
We won today, but they will return, with more men, with more weapons.
Yes, and when they come, we will be ready again. This fight is far from over, Kato, but we fight with the land at our side. We will protect it until our last breath.
The sun began to set once more, casting a red glow over the jungle. The people of the Congo had won the first battle, but the war was only beginning. They knew that more blood would be spilled, and that the fight for their home, their freedom, and their future would be long and difficult. But they were ready. The spirit of the Congo burned within them, fierce and unyielding. Leopold's men may have had guns and power, but the people of the Congo had something far greater, the unbreakable bond with the land that had given them life, and they would fight to protect it until the very end.